Taika is one of those directors that if you give him too much freedom, he loses his shit.
What the fuck are y'all thinking, making people pay?
Welcome, you nerds. Welcome to another Podcasting While Nerdy. And we got a lot for you today.
So much. But once again, it is your boy, Brandon 2K, with the nerd extraordinaire, the master producer, the master editor that you've been seeing these killer YouTube videos. If you guys are listening to this audio only, you guys need to jump over to YouTube and see these awesome edits that our boy Dat Nerd ADC has been dropping. Love this guy. It's going to be one heck of a ride today. So let's jump into it.
Let's do it. So what's blowing up our Twitter or X? We talked about that. Change.
It's still twitter.com. You type in twitter.com, you get brought over there. I don't think you can type in x.com and get to the same spot. So
you may go to a different spot, but that's another news story.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
So rumor, Thor 5 is in the works without Taika Waititi. I am not sad about this news, actually.
Shut your mouth.
I am not sad. Thor Love and Thunder jumped the shark for me. Ragnarok was Taika is one of those directors that if you give him too much freedom, he loses his shit. Does that make sense? He has to be really reined in, or you get Thor Love and Thunder. The one other movie he did. You get movies like that where it's just I'm just gonna be on an acid trip and put it on the screen.
He's also directing a movie for the it's the true the true telling of the Samoan soccer team, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. So he's got other projects, but this is kind of a shock for me, just a little bit.
It is, because normally they like this, unless crazy circumstances, they tend to stick with the same director for an IP for a character. You look at James Gunn, like Guardians of the Galaxy, he was able to fill his vision throughout the movies, and they stopped it as soon as he made the jump and now is DC president. I'm pretty sure they had more planned, but they hey, wrap it up, because if you're not going to do it, we don't want to do it, sort of scenario.
Move on, yeah.
And I thought Taika was going to be like that for Thor, but apparently not. So
no, I think this indicates a new direction for Thor. Obviously, maybe we get a little bit more serious, or maybe it's I feel like every other main MCU Avenger has been replaced, or at least supplanted, I would say. A lot of the OGs are gone, and to be honest, Anthony Mackie's pretty old to be in these movies. But maybe we get a serious Thor, and maybe we get more of a direction what the Thor side of things is going to play into this new Avenger lineup. So
I guess my main worry is, if depending on what this new director does, if it's dramatically different, is it going to be whiplash for the audience? Will it be accepted? Because you have the tone of Thor that Taika has set forth.
Exactly. So, boom or bust, this is the direction they're going. Comment below. Let us know what you guys think of Taika Waititi not being involved with Thor 5. Sucks.
Yes. So this kind of bleeds into gaming talk, but I figured it is big news in this in general, so we're going to cover it here. So Spider-Man and Wolverine games are in the same Earth/universe.
Yep. It's going to be massive. So basically, if you guys have a finger on the pulse at all when it comes to Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Marvel games at all, Spider-Man 2 is out there absolutely murdering everything that's out there right now. They're getting a lot of traction. The fact that there's so many, they're bringing in artists to make new suits for the game. Venom's involved with the Spider-Man 2. I will say that putting the Spider-Man and Wolverine games in the same Earth/universe, a lot of people don't realize, but both Spider-Man and Wolverine have been Avenger members. So maybe we get what the Avengers game was supposed to be by combining, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and whoever else they decide to put in the universe. There is also talk about there being a Venom spinoff, because there's so much hype behind Venom being in Spider-Man 2. There is talk. I think it's pretty much, hey, we want to do this. The word on the street is we want to give the fans what they want, which is a very, very very, tried to be practiced in the gaming world, but hardly ever hits the mark. But when you come out before the game is even made and say we want to listen to the fans, I think it says a lot. The Spider-Man games are incredible. If you haven't gotten to play them, go grab a PS5 for Spider-Man 2. If not, you can actually get the first Spider-Man on your PC through the Epic Store. You can play them and let us know what you guys think. Wolverine game, I don't think there's a firm release date. I think it's like late 2025 or early 26.
They've been teasing it for a while, though. There's a lot of teases out there.
Yeah. I think the fact that they have such a great engine to work with the Spider-Man games, it's the same studio, so that helps a lot. But they have a nice foundation to work from, and I think once they bring, I think that's honestly, that's why they brought Venom in right now. Because if you look at how Venom moves and swiping and all that stuff, yeah, it's kind of Hulkish, but if you look really closely, he's slashing like he's got claws. So I'm wondering if they were trying to kind of play with the dynamics and the physics and stuff like that, and the moves, trying to see what they could work in for the Wolverine games as well, see what doesn't work. And that's just kind of how the minds work over there at Insomniac. They're very, very, very analytical beasts, and if they get a chance to test something in a previous game, then they can work into the next one. They are very good about doing that. So I think with the introduction of Venom and then talking about the Venom spinoff, I think the Wolverine game is going to be awesome. I'm glad it's in the same universe, but why say that it's in the same universe and that Venom spinoff has been said to also be in the same universe? Why put all these characters in the same universe and not put them together? So, yeah, looking forward to that. That's an awesome announcement. I think it's going to make all the difference in the world when it comes to the Wolverine game.
Makes me kind of want a PS5. So I'm not gonna lie.
Wait till it comes to PC. It's gonna the way it's working right now. The way how popular Spider-Man 5 is, people are literally Spider-Man 2 are buying PlayStation 5s in order to play the new Spider-Man. So, I do see that becoming a little bit more cross-platform. I don't think it won't cross over to Xbox, but I think we'll get Spider-Man 2 within 6 months on the Epic Store.
I can see that. And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Venom is voiced by in the game Candyman, Mr. Tony Todd. So that's pretty cool. Who
was also in a few conventions close by that we didn't get to.
I know,
but we'll get that. That man's a legend. I want to Is there a snake dog like this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's Tony Todd's the man.
Yeah. Speaking of Venom.
Mm-hmm.
Venom 3 release expected to be pushed back any day to strikes. This is kind of to be expected, especially since the actors are still on strike. So this unfortunately makes sense.
Yeah, they were talking about July of 2024, which I was really excited about because it really coincides with a really great summer of movie releases. I will say the pushback is definitely, you're right. It's not at all surprising that it's being pushed back. This also kind of coincides with the writer strike ending and the actor strike still going on. I think that maybe they get a little more work onto it. I think with the writer strike ending, I think a lot of shows, not just Venom 3, but I think a lot of shows will get some more much needed attention from the writers, creating better stories for the actors to come back to. So kind of look on the bright side here of the striking situation. I really hope that they do end the strike soon. The one good thing about the strikes is not at all touching video games or interactives, so that's awesome. It could still get there, but with the writer strike ending, it won't happen. But anyway, Venom 3 release pushback is not surprising at all. We've been talking. I think we mentioned it a couple of times. Like, it's been on the list of things that were going to get pushed back or that we were surprised hadn't gotten a pushback yet.
And we stated that, there's going to be almost everything to expect these announcements with everything like you're hinting at, and not just, as you mentioned, the writers are just getting back. So there's probably a lot of shows that have no writing. So they're going to have to be pushed back because nothing's down on paper yet. So, or they were like midway done or whatever the case. So this is unfortunately not surprising, but hopefully this is for the better. I mean, you want a good product at the end of the day, and if it's not ready, it's not ready. So Russo brothers clap back at Scorsese for a danger to culture comment. Scorsese is very much a not on my lawn type of guy. Get off my yard, on my yard type of dude. I get Scorsese is a genius. He is, but he's very. I mean, Brandon, we're talking about this a little bit off screen. He's just old school, and Russo brothers had a very good comeback to him believing that Marvel was danger to culture.
So danger to culture and not cinema.
Yes.
Were the comments made. The Russo brothers, bless their hearts. So Scorsese has a dog named Oscar. The Russo brothers have a dog, or it's one of the Russo brothers. I can't think of the guy's name. They're always together, so I never separate them. His dog's name is now Box Office. So, hey, you get Oscars, we make money. Which is the ultimate clapback nowadays, because the more money you make, the better your stuff is, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, if anybody should name their pets Box Office, it's James Cameron.
Woo! The clapback has just been clapped back, ladies and gentlemen. Russo brothers, falls in your court.
Because if you look at the top movies of all time, James Cameron has the top 3, or had. I think a Marvel movie this etched one though. I think Endgame etched one of them out. But he, for the longest time, held like the top 3. So Titanic, Avatar, and forgot what the third one was. But
Titanic?
Yeah, I think it goes Titanic, Avatar, and then maybe another Avatar. No, Avatar 2 just came out and it didn't make. Never mind. So what's the? But I don't think it topped like the top 3 of all movies of all time, box office wise.
Probably.
Yeah, Titanic, Avatar, and guys, tell me in the comment. It may have been Terminator. It might have been. But let me know in the comments what movie I'm thinking of that is the top 3 of all time that James Cameron holds or did hold.
100%. Drop that in there, guys. But yeah, no, it's not surprising. Okay, Boomer. Also, go see what's that movie called again? Death of
Flowers of the something. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, go support Scorsese with that.
Go support Leo and Robert De Niro being in the same movie. Let's do that. How about
that? Dude, that's mind blowing right there. Disney is limiting their Marvel series format. They need to. They really do. At this point, they're pushing out content just to push out content. It feels like I don't really feel like they've had a really good series for a while. They've had mid-series and they have ones that have critically bombed. This is me looking at you, Hawkeye. Or I'm looking at you, She-Hulk.
You.
I can keep looking at people because there's a lot of people in this room right now that need to be looked at. So, they could have been good. Like a lot of these shows had like promising concepts and ideas, but you could tell that they were like rushed to the table, like content for content's sake. And, for the longest time, and this is still pretty much the case, the main thing that keeps Disney Plus alive is a Marvel series. I would not doubt that most of their
Bluey.
I would doubt that most of the Disney Plus subscribers are subscribing for something that's coming out with Marvel. So they needed, I get it. They needed these 10-pole series to launch their service, but you can't keep, having Marvel work the corner like this, man. You got to give her a break. She can't do all the work. She can't handle the whole city. She gonna handle one street, man. So like sort of thing. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I feel like Disney is just relying way too much on Marvel and Star Wars IP, but more so Marvel. They're relying way too much on those IPs, and it's getting to the point where the common audience member is going, well, what else do you got? I've been to this restaurant several times and you keep serving me steak. Yeah, I get it. Your steak is good. But do you have literally anything else on the menu? You see what I'm saying?
100%. I feel like Disney and Pixar haven't, like, Elemental was good. Like, don't get me wrong, there's stuff cranking out, but at the same time, they're not like there's so many things they could be working on, so could be releasing. I feel like if they don't have why does it take so long for Disney Pixar to release a movie? Like Elemental took forever. Strange New World was the next or something like that was the one before that, and that was almost a 2-year gap probably. Like it's just interesting to see what's coming out and what's getting put on the platforms because Netflix is coming out with some crazy good movies soon. Like insane new movies coming out soon. Disney's gonna have to really step up and like I get they acquired Marvel to do exactly what they're doing, but Disney was Disney before Marvel, and Disney needs to get back to what they do as a regular company, like not just a conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I got this pit bull over here that can run 45 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and get him out there. Oh, we ran the pit bull to death. Let's get the Chihuahua out there and see what he can do. And
right, exactly.
They keep running like you keep saying like mid. I'm like just dog movies, just not the good kind of dog. Just it's terrible. It's really terrible. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for Disney to come back with the classic, not necessarily go back with the classic. That Disney, I don't know if anybody's seen the Disney 100 like mini movie or whatever, mini film. That was masterfully done. They brought back everybody and they just did the darn thing. What they need to do is see what made those movies work so well, and stop trying to remake Snow White and stop trying to remake other movies and just go back to what made them, and that was quality, original family content.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I mean, and let's not kid ourselves. Like you can acknowledge that, you know, the cornerstone of your studio is Marvel and Star Wars. I mean, those are your biggest IPs. I get that. I understand that.
Give me a sink. Give me a sink or a toilet in the house. You know,
right.
You got the cornerstone. You got the foundation. Let's see a nice bedroom or two, or let's show me some nice, you know, light fixtures in your house or whatever. Like Disney has so much creative, like you have so much in-house creativity at Pixar alone. Like, don't get me wrong, they made Toy Story but my key point here is Toy Story went on for 5 movies and stopped. But I'm telling you that they might make more. You never know. They still might make more. But at the same time, instead of doing an original movie in the recent years, they went back to Lightyear and said, this is the movie. Like, we got the movie that the action figure was based off of. No, we didn't. They went back and like the whole Snow White thing. That movie, if it gets made, I'll be shocked. If the Rachel Zegler Snow White comes out, I will be shocked. It's been dragged through the coals so much because it's one, they were like, well, why didn't you hire 7 dwarfs to be in the movie? That, like, who made that call? But anyway, remaking movies and trying to do the real-time thing of any of their movies right now, they're not, the stuff that worked back in the day doesn't work now if you change absolutely everything.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I am a firm believer of not whitewashing anybody or anything, but Ariel was white and we got a black lady. Don't get me wrong. It was probably amazing. I didn't watch it because my kids aren't into that. And then Rachel Zegler is Snow White. The chick was literally called Snow White because her skin was so stinking white. All of those things wrapped into one. They want to go back and do the things they were doing before, but they're doing it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. That's my point. I rambled for a solid nonsense.
No, you make a lot of good points. My key thought when we were talking about the Snow White movie is like, and not hiring like dwarves. It was like Hornswoggle was pissed right now, like he was waiting by his phone.
And then Peter Dinklage. I saw those clips of him being interviewed, but then he goes like, Peter Dinklage said something about him not caring if dwarfs get recast, and Hornswoggle gets up there and goes, "Hey, he doesn't speak. He's not the king dwarf."
Right.
I was like, "Oh man."
I'm like, "Calm down, Hornswoggle. You got Leprechaun, man. You got Leprechaun." But yeah,
WWE studios come back and make movies.
but yeah, let us know if you agree or if you think we need more Marvel series, not less. I'd like to hear your comments down below.
Absolutely.
Anything else to add to the video game corner besides the Wolverine and Spider-Man news?
I can't go an episode without talking about MK. I can't go an episode without talking about MK. Can you? Are we gonna bleep something? Or we're gonna bleep? Can you bleep?
I can bleep.
What the fuck are y'all thinking? Making people pay for a fatality?
$10. Is it $10?
$10 for a fatality. That's really just a redo of Reptile's fatality. It's not even an original fatality. It's now you can do Reptile's fatality with a pumpkin. Get out of here. What? Who? Netherrealm Studios, how dare you? Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the CFO or whatever is sitting there going, oh man, all these games out here are got microtransactions. We should capitalize on it. That's fine and dandy. But for a fate,
not even a character.
And to dribble the ball.
Yeah, like characters would make sense. Like, yeah, if you're gonna go,
they got the combat packs.
Yeah,
they could have thrown it in a combat pack with a bunch of Halloween skins. But no, they literally said we're going to charge you 1,200 whatever gems to perform this fatality that's been around for 12 years. But we're going to put a pumpkin on it, so it's okay. It's different. It's different. How dare you? And if anyone comes to me in the comments, you paid for the fatality, and you're just trying to defend yourself. Oh God, when I saw that, Jasper posted it, and I said, yet again, I stand by my case. Netherrealm Studios made MK1 as a money grab. Period.
It's seeming that way.
I'm sorry. I'm a man of the people, and I'm saying what every one of y'all are thinking, but don't want to say it.
You're gonna get the comments, man.
I don't. Come at me. Mortal Kombat 1 is an okay game that you're paying absurd amount of money on, and if you're not paying for gems, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. But if you paid for the Halloween fatality, it's not even like there's rarities. There's common, rare, whatever up there. It's a gray fatality. Like it's just you put the pumpkin on the person's head and it's just the bugs start coming out of the pumpkin and eating the body, which is Reptile's fatality in one of the games. I can't remember which one it is, but been around for ages. Y'all are getting fed the same thing and paying for it. You want to talk about getting fed steak over and over and over? Hey, here's a grilled cheese. Awesome. How much is that? $15. Thank you very much. Y'all keep Netherrealm Studios in business personally.
I mean, at least if you're going to do that, at least make the grilled cheese with like Gouda or something.
Or throw some fries on the side. I'm talking 2 pieces of bread. No butter on the bread. It's American sliced, like not even a Kraft. It's a Kroger slice of cheese in between. And you're not getting 2 slices, you're getting 1. That fatality, it's not cool. Like if they had like ghouls ripping it apart or something, like something that actually involved brain cells or something crazy, I could see him charging $5 or an amount of coins you could earn in the game to get the fatality. But $10.99 for a singular fatality that's not even new. Like it's new because it's Halloween, but it's not new to the universe. Come at me if you can. Go ahead, try. It's fine. I know where I stand. I am firmly where I stand for this reason. Microtransactions are killing video games. Don't get me wrong. Everybody has a game they pay a little bit of money for. I play Slime. What was it? Idle Slime, Legend of Slime RPG on my phone, and I give them a little bit of money. It's because I play that game so much that it makes sense. But I'm paying like $5 a month, like $5 a month for a game that I play probably entirely too much. Microtransactions are literally the bane of the video game world. And I think they will push people towards the free games. There's studios out here trying to make better games or a lot like better games, but like you pay for cosmetics. That makes sense. You don't pay for your whole franchise is based on the ability to rip bodies apart. Like that's the only reason your game's being played. The story's okay. It's very unbelievable, but it's very okay. And then you just retcon everything and say, hey, pay for this little simple stuff. If this is what they're making you pay for, wait till the 4th of July comes out. Wait till the 4th of July comes out, or Christmas. There's going to be some Christmas thing that they open up the package and go, oh man, or something happens. Netherrealm Studios should be, again, ashamed of themselves. And it's obvious they don't care. It's obvious. Just ask Switch players.
With that, we're going to move on. Because I can always already see the comments are going to be coming, man. So
bring them on, kids.
So
bring them on.
A lot is happening in the wrestling world right now.
But the first thing we're talking about is Bound for Glory.
Yes, let's talk about Bound for Glory right now. Let's talk a little bit about Bound for Glory because we watched it. This would have been by the time this airs about 2 weekends ago, but we watched it and it was great. Like, you know, all I have to say right now is WWE, AEW, NWA, all you guys need to be ashamed of yourselves right now.
He took a line. He took my life.
Because Impact basically came in here and owned the place that weekend. And they put on Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania. And I honestly feel bell to bell. Yeah, they may not have the spectacle that WrestleMania has with the pyros and the lights and all the glitz and glamour. But bell to bell, Bound for Glory was better than
the last. I'll say it for you. The last 5 WrestleManias.
Yes.
The last 5 WrestleManias. The Speedball Ospreay match by itself. By itself was a top 10 all-time match. Period. And I don't care what anybody says. There's people talking about not selling hard enough. Don't get me wrong. If you've watched a lot of WWE, you're used to hard sells. You're used to hard sells. Don't get me wrong. You're used to hard sells. This match was absolutely, as a casual fan, it blew my mind. And it started so fast and it didn't stop.
They put on a clinic. They put on, if anybody's like, what is pro wrestling? What should pro wrestling be? I never watched pro wrestling before. Give me a match. I would give them the Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey match. It's going to blow their mind. But I have them watch that match. That match.
It would sour them on every other promotion, to be honest.
And Impact, by the way. Impact.
Biggest, yeah.
If you don't sign Will Ospreay.
That's the craziest part to me, is this man is a free agent, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, if I was him, I would be a mercenary for hire, just bounce to every promotion and as much as I possibly could and just drop the biggest box office. No. The minute Will Ospreay goes and does a WWE match and they let him do what he needs to do to make, they'll have to change their entire roster. WWE will not sign Will Ospreay because he works too hard. Period.
And Will Ospreay won't want to tone himself down.
And that's the best thing about it, man. Oh my goodness!
Because I can guarantee you, WWE is going to be backing up dump trucks of money to him. They're going to try to sign him. They want him. I can guarantee they want him. Who doesn't want him? But like, honestly, if he's going to end up one or two places, AEW or Impact. And unfortunately, I don't feel like Impact has the money to get him.
I think AEW runs him in the ground if they get him. I think it'll be the worst thing in his career. I think it's such a giant roster.
Yeah. I think the opposite. I think he becomes an afterthought. I think he's a name on their roster.
That'd be the unsmart thing to do, and that would keep okay. To shelve him. I could see that. I see what you're going with. If they could make him an afterthought, it would legitimize their promotion more because there's not someone out there showing them up. And the only person that could is right there. And forget I said that. Mike Bailey. I'm sorry, but that man came and matched energy.
He did.
And the only time that whole match slowed down was for them to bring the story in.
Yes.
And it was just like hey, sorry for flipping and kicking and smacking the crap out of your brain real quick. Let's tell a little bit of a story here. That's the only time it slowed down. The rest of the time, it's high flying. if you guys have no idea what we're talking about, go on this magnificent app of YouTube and go look up the Will Ospreay Speedball Mike Bailey match from Bound for Glory, because side to side to any match, it holds up.
And notice we're still only talking about one match.
One match.
Like
we haven't even broken into the main event, which was awesome, but we'll talk about that last, obviously.
Saban and Kenta.
Saban and Kenta. Saban and Kenta. There's nothing to say about that. It was perfect. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I had no idea what was going on, and I still loved this entire card. The only one I didn't like was a get over match for Naomi, aka Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only. We'll talk about that right now, actually.
Trinity and Mickie James, yeah. Trinity,
Fatu, Mickie James. Basically, Mickie James coming back from injury. Her protege has the belt, coming back to get her belt back.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband is general manager at SmackDown. It's a perfect time for her to join over there. Her contract wasn't like a super tight contract. It was just, whatever.
A handshake.
It was a okay match. You saw not necessarily stiffness. I would say. I would probably say I don't want to go full blown botch, but maybe some missed spots. From Trinity. Mickie looked good, which shocked me. Mickie looked really good, but she's always been a very highly technical wrestler.
She carried the match.
Yeah, 100% carried the match, and then put over her protege.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want the results, sorry. Trinity won that match. Man, I think you were right. Adrian talked off screen about Mickie joining her husband.
Yes, that's definitely going to happen. And then Monsters Ball was pretty
cool. Monsters Ball. Hardcore matches. Who?
Right.
East. Never mind. I held my breath a little bit. Monsters Ball gave me the old school EC feels. What about you?
Yes, and like they let it out there, man. So you had so if you didn't know, you had PCO in that match who killed it, man. And Steve Macklin, Moose, Rhino, and they just put on a clinic, man.
It was a highly classic. Like it reminded me hardcore of old school EC without the barbed wire.
PCO,
but there was still barbed wire.
PCO doesn't care about his body, man.
No, he does not. Rhino either. Like for as old as he is, what's he doing out there?
I think PCO is like 54 or something. Like PCO is like
not.
Yeah, PCO is not a young dude.
Wow. I was looking it up because I gotta know if he's 54. That is unheard of. This is like Frank Shamrock longevity.
He's 55. So
the first flip hit the first big spot. That guy's got to have some kind of nerve damage where he's just immune to pain.
Speaking of immune, I mean, the tack spot was just brutal. And then
I will clip that.
And then Steve Macklin, like being pushed by Bully Ray off the top turnbuckle onto the barbed wire tables. That, like, there's just so many moments. I'm sorry I'm jumping around here, but it's just such a great.
No, we can jump around all we want. That's the cool thing about this. You guys can literally go and find. I guarantee you, all of these moments have been made into TikToks. If you need to see what we're talking about, make sure you go and watch clips of everything that happened, and then you guys understand what we're talking about. But continue. No, jump around all you want.
Speaking of moments, the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, which is basically their Royal Rumble. So you have surprise and
mixed Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That's what blew my mind. It's a mixed Royal Rumble, and the ladies of Impact.
Jordan Grace, man. Jordan Grace. So they were in there mixing it up with the boys. And, of course, you did have some surprises. Matt Cardona, Juventud Guerrera, Sonny Kiss.
I'm going to tell you guys one thing right now. If you guys want to be on the cutting edge of Wrestle Talk, if you guys want to have in-depth analysis of what's going on in the wrestling world, it may be kind of sporadic, but we are 100% on point. Did we or did we not say Sunny Kiss was going to make an appearance within the next 2 months at either Impact or WWE?
We did, and
we said Impact was a much more better situation.
Mm-hmm. And she's with Impact now, So like Sunny Kiss,
you think that's a signing, or do you think it was an appearance?
It's a signing.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a signing.
The team up with Bully Ray tickled me in places I didn't know I needed to be tickled. And don't clip that. Being tickled, like literally, it was spot on. And while it's kind of out of character for the biker to team up with the trans, black man, but black person, it was awesome. Like it was one of the moments of the match for me. That was just funny.
And speaking of like trans wrestlers, so you also had like Giselle Shaw in there.
Yep.
And I believe the same time as Sunny Kiss was in there.
I believe so too. Yeah, I think they mentioned that they're like, oh, this is a match that needs to happen. I think even the commentary team said that. I think even Tom Halfman said that former Todd Phillips and WWE was like, you have Sunny Kiss and Giselle Shaw in the same ring together for the first time ever. And if they are both like fixtures in trans wrestling community or the LGBTQ community, Sunny Kiss is a trans. He's gay, but Giselle Shaw is trans, and that's been a dream matchup that a lot of people have had on their like bingo card, right? They match physicality, and the move sets are high flying and powerful. I think it'd be a crazy matchup, and it'd be a great moment. So, Impact, if you want to make an impact, now's the chance.
Yeah.
But the rest of that match, the amount of eliminations, I can't. What was that? The two guys that used to be tag team partners.
Matt Cardona and Brian Myers.
Yes.
Those two
went on a rampage. I think it was 4 or 5 eliminations. And then for that just slight backstab, which will could set up matches in the like. You literally could watch Bound for Glory and see the direction they wanted to go. You could literally see exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah. So when Matt Cardona eliminates Brian Myers, he does the whole sorry, bro. Like you see him mouth that to Brian Myers. I'm like, and they focused on it so much. And like, so I'm like, I think you're right. They're going somewhere there. They also focused on Jonathan Grisham going after Jordan Grace, going after his wife several times during the match.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Yep.
It's pretty cool. So Jordan Grace ends up winning that match
over Bully Ray. The final two. If you're not familiar with the rules, Impact does something I thought that WWE should have done a long time ago. The final two is a standard wrestling match, which makes it a little more interesting because throwing them over the top rope can be a little bit more difficult than pinning someone sometimes. So having a mixed ending and putting over the obvious next contender for the it's a knockout champion.
Yeah, for Trinity.
Knockout championship. Yep. Going after Trinity. I don't think Mickey and Jordan would have been a great match.
No.
But having that set up a little bit more drama for Mickey and Trinity was nice because immediately after winning, she announced that she would be at the very next pay-per-view would be challenging the winner of Mickey James and Trinity for the knockout championship. It kind of would have been wasted on Bully Ray because his story right now is not about being champion. It's about screwing with specific people, which if you watch Bound for Glory, you'll see he gets involved with the Monsters Ball, if I'm not mistaken, against Mr. Macklin.
Yeah.
He's going for a spot to do a kind of a high-flying shot on somebody that was on a ladder, and there happened to be a barbed wire table, and Bully Ray showed up and kind of just walked up to him. He's like, "What are you doing?" Like, he just looks at him and shoves him off, and he falls into this table of barbed wire. He doesn't move. It doesn't move. Doesn't move for a long time.
Who's soft now? That was the...
Oh, yeah. Who walks by and he goes, "Who's soft now?" Walks on. That made me excited to see him come out for the gauntlet. It was so lit. I have not seen anything like that ever in my days. And especially have that and a Monsters Ball in the same pay-per-view is something that would never happen in WWE.
No.
They always got to make their money separate.
And dude, like we're leaving matches out and like they're all good. So the Rascals versus the Bullet Club.
Oh my gosh.
Was great. Told a very, very cool, very good story.
Cheaters never win, kids. Or they might for a little while, then they end up
So the Rascals are no longer our tag team champs.
Nope.
But yeah, all the matches were great. They're all great.
The athleticism and impact alone, guys. I am so casual. You can probably hear it in my voice. You can hear it in my text. The only reason I know what I'm talking about at all is because of Adrian. But I do a little bit of research, but still, watching Impact has soured me on WWE. Like we're gonna go see AEW Collision because it's in town.
Actually,
it's gonna be a lot of fun being right there for it and everything. But I'm not gonna see what I saw. You know what I mean? I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a great time with friends, but at the same time, I'm scared because I feel like I got a really great experience with Bound for Glory, and I got a high bar.
It's like you went to a 5-star steakhouse and like you're afraid that somebody's about to take you to Applebee's. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. So
it's live, so it's totally different.
Yeah. So when this is airing, exactly like you're going to be watching this. When you're watching this, we will be at AEW Collision. So be looking for that coverage of how we felt about it on the following episode, and we'll probably be tweeting about it too all over the place. And you're probably going to see photos on our
socials. Follow the socials. You're going to see all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you're probably going to like see pictures of us. You're probably going to see the ramp. You're probably going to see pictures. Oh, I'm definitely going to be like doing my reactions all throughout the show. So,
Instagram stories abound, ladies and gentlemen. Pods While Nerdy on Instagram. Pods While Nerdy on X/Twitter. Brandon X Brandon 2K X, just like it is what here, whatever. For Twitter, same thing for Adrian @NerdADC. Make sure you guys are following all of our socials. They're always linked below, and those are clickable links down below. Follow us up because we always post stuff. Like I share crazy stuff. But anyway, we're still not even. We haven't even hit the main event.
We haven't. So Josh Alexander versus Alex Shelley. Also, great match, total great story. And I honestly didn't know where it was going. I honestly thought that Josh Alexander was going to win.
Okay, so yes, walking into that match, I was like, Josh Alexander's got this in the bag, 100%. Which is the first thing anybody would notice watching the promos. Like they make it, they hid the result so well and everything, which made it even better of a match because you're sitting there on the edge of your seat because you're like, how the heck is he gonna pull this one out? And then boom, you see the result. But we'll talk about the match more before we talk about the result.
Yes. So the match itself had a lot of back and forth, had a lot of false finishes. I can't tell you how many times Alex Shelley hit the cradle shock on the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, and it's to only get a 2 count. Ospreay versus Mike Bailey was that way too.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what was my favorite part of Josh Alexander versus Alex Shelley. I want to say when Alex Shelley literally slapped the headgear off Josh Alexander, I was like, this got real. Like, I see you nodding over there.
Shot. Oh, that hurt me. That's one thing, guys. This whole Bound for Glory, I was hurting physically watching this stuff happen, going, so painful to watch, which makes it even better. I'm going to say it. Come at me in the comments. I don't care. It felt like Attitude Era wrestling.
Yeah.
It felt like Attitude Era wrestling, but it didn't. The heavyweight, that's one thing that surprised me with the Alex Shelley and Josh Alexander match. Those guys are heavyweights, right? Technically?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It did not feel like a heavyweight match.
No. Especially from Josh Alexander. Like,
I was shocked at his athleticism, honestly.
Yeah. And, going to back to what you're saying to, like, PCO, like, Show was doing things in that ring that you expect from a cruiserweight. And yeah, it's just
huge.
Just the high octane of what Impact is. It's just
it is jet fuel when WWE is 885. E85. Yes.
So if we haven't sold it enough, watch Bound for Glory. Watch the replay or watch the highlights, like Brandon said. They're probably all over YouTube at this point. I think Impact Impact on their official channel even has a lot of these moments. So
TikTok for sure, guys. If you guys go over to TikTok, I literally got so hyped today because I saw Will Ospreay speedball.
Oh, they have highlights on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was that middle secret weapon or secret blade, where just absolute. I don't know how you hit this. It's like he cut Speedball in half. Just go watch it. Just go watch it. I can't do it justice.
It's definitely a match. It's definitely a match of the year contender. I could definitely see it match of the year. And when they give up
half a decade. Like some of Will Ospreay's other matches would be up there too. But like, guys, to put it in NFL terms, this is like prime Aaron Donald. It's like Tyreek Hill's speed. Will Ospreay is just in a class of his own.
He is. There's no one that can touch him.
And Mike Bailey matched it. That's the craziest part of it.
I did not.
Will Ospreay. Don't get me wrong. I am hyper casual, but I was familiar with that man's work, and that was. And you going in, you said you knew really nothing about Mike Bailey. Yeah, zero.
And then by the end of it, you're like, Mike Bailey, dude.
It's like, and that's the craziest part is I was like, oh, they gave him some chump to beat the crap out of, and then I read a little bit more into it, and he's not, and he's got years under his belt. Oh my gosh, just go watch it.
And this is a technical aspect. But going back to the Mike Bailey match for a second, and Ospreay. When Mike Bailey jumps onto the top rope, he walks up to the top rope. He doesn't climb to the top rope. Literally, like, jumps vertically to get to the top rope and bounces barefooted on the top rope. The springboard out to Will Ospreay. You know how much precision that takes?
To not mess it up live? 100%. The pressure to hit that spot alone. Nobody's doing this, guys. Nobody else is doing what these people are doing. And and financially, they're probably a C-tier promotion. And that has nothing to do with the quality of the product. That is just purely financial. As far as storytelling, just from a pay-per-view, because I haven't watched wrestling since it was TNA, and I heard it's coming back TNA kind of thing.
We're going to be talking about that.
I'm sorry, but there's nobody doing what they're doing right now. No. Not one person. New Japan has some pretty cool guys in there, but guess who's dominating the New Japan and selling out their arenas? Will Ospreay. When you're top of New Japan and don't even want anything to do with WWE because you think they're going to weigh you down, this man could have been the WWE last year if he wanted to.
Probably for the past 5 years. Yeah.
I will say this though: if Orange Cassidy becomes a free agent, I want to see those two together.
Yes, that'd be good. He's one of the ones. He's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to possibly seeing on Saturday. Is Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I was I forgot. You got me out there now. You got me. No, but see with that on the technical, you're talking about you want to talk about technical aspect and telling a story with your body. Orange Cassidy does it just as good as anybody else. And I think him that's lightning in a bottle. Like
or Darby Allin.
Dude, Darby Allin, Mike Bailey, bro. Darby Allin, Mike Bailey. Oh. Now you got me playing fantasy, man. Now you got me playing fantasy wrestling. Okay, I need to buy WWE 2K so I can make an Orange Cassidy and a Will Ospreay and put them in a ring because there's no other wrestling games out there you can do that with.
Right. But yeah, watch Bound for Glory, guys.
Watch Bound for Glory. Again, did we say how many times did we say watch Bound for
So going from Impact Wrestling to MLW. MLW, I don't know. Car Bar, I don't know what you're doing over there in your promotion, but apparently you're losing Juicy and you're losing Lance Anaoa'i. And we're not done. You're also losing Alex Hammerstone as well, rumored. There's just this max exodus coming out of MLW right now, similar to what NWA and Billy Corgan are going through. And I don't know what's going on there, but you need to think. You really need. And earlier this year they lost Rich Holland, which is like one of the big names in wrestling, right? Indie wrestling right now. And I think he's going to AEW, if I'm not mistaken, or NWA, one of the two. But in the span of like a couple months, they've lost like their big players. And if we hear more of why this is happening, we'll let you know. But yeah, Juicy, Lance, Alex Hammerstone, Rich Holland, all gone from MLW.
As soon as I saw Lance Anaoa'i, I was like, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Yeah. As soon as if you guys don't know, I believe Lance Anaoa'i is, I want to say Roman Reigns' cousin. He's part of that family.
100% that family.
So bring him into the bloodline. Let's bring him over. But like,
there's rumors about the bloodline expanding, so I wouldn't be shocked if we get some background players coming in soon.
Yeah, he had a short run in WWE, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in the bloodline. So on to a little bit more news. So Harley Hudson wins an Impact Wrestling contract through Gut Check. I don't know much about her. This happened on the UK tour. She's a UK talent. But bringing in knockout talent, I'm all game for. So
it's a short side of the roster, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see what she can do. I don't know much about her, but excited. If you're able to find out, like if she's done anything worth mentioning, let me know. If you have any UK fans who actually know of her, talk her up in the comments.
Absolutely, let us know what we need to know. I know she's from Liverpool, and she's apparently good enough to get through Gut Check. So, because don't get me wrong, Tough Enough back in the day was great. Gut Check's right there in the same category, guys. And it's not as reality showed up.
So someone you may know is speaking of the indie scene, is doing their little indie tour right now. So Ronda Rousey has been popping up at indie shows. She's booked for Wrestling Revolver, which is Sami Callihan's promotion. And she's done a couple others. So yeah, she's doing the indie circuit right now. So people are speculating. So Sami Callihan, his contract is ending with Impact Wrestling, and he's been spotted backstage at AEW shows a lot lately. I think they're trying to work out a deal. I'm almost positive about it. So people are saying, well, 1 + 1 = 2, because a lot of people that have been going to being appeared on his Wrestling Revolver shows lately have been AEW talent. So he had to get the okay from Tony Khan to do that. And people are like, well, maybe that's because they have a working relationship and something's going to be happening there. So the fact that Ronda Rousey is going to be appearing at Wrestling Revolver, there's an AEW connection kind of there. So we'll see where that goes.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, if AEW signs Ronda, it's like what you said with Will Ospreay. It's going to be a shelving so nobody else can use her.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Or she'll just be an appearance magnet. Because people will show up just to say they saw Ronda Rousey. Which, don't get me wrong, like, at one point, she was the baddest woman on the planet. She's been lapped so many times by so many UFC fighters. Lapped. She's not the greatest UFC. Like, she got fast finishes, but she was using judo in a wrestling or an MMA ring. So it's gonna go over really nicely until everybody figures it out. You just got to head kick her into submission or punch her in the face enough without getting grabbed. That's all. But doing the indie circuit's great. I think every time someone like this runs out of money, they tend to jump back into something. It's not her true love.
No,
it's been obvious that it's not her true love. And if she's trying to discover her love for it again through the indie shows, that's respectful. But I think she came to WWE for the money. I think that once she found out what it was all kind of about, it wasn't really her style, and she didn't really want to do it.
I mean, she can't be doing the indie shows for the money because they're not going to be able to pay her what WWE is paying her, obviously. So
of course, but like it's still $1. It's still $1.
True.
And it's a chance to try again, maybe to see, or maybe to capture what it like. She's an athlete. Don't get me wrong. She's an athlete. And I think WWE capitalized way too heavily on her so-called striking in wrestling. Don't get me wrong. Striking in MMA is completely different than striking WWE. I think if she changed the way she wrestled, like if she would get more into like the pro wrestling style instead of the striking style, like Shayna Baszler, the reason she stuck around for so long in wrestling is because she actually tried to wrestle. Don't get me wrong, they are obviously incorporated striking because she's a striking specialist, but Shayna Baszler was able to get by. And also, I'm pretty sure not too long ago, wasn't Shayna Baszler talking smack about of herself, coming through the ranks and earning the respect, and whatnot. So this may be an attempt to do that. If she, you're right. If she wanted the big payday, she could probably call up a bigger wrestling promotion, and say, "Hey, how much money will you give me for appearing?"
Yeah, she would appear like if she wanted the payday. She'd like show up at AEW or like,
which she still can technically.
Yeah, it may happen.
Which she may be doing the indie shows to like, hey, Sammy, bring me with you, please. Talk to Tony. I heard he's got deep pockets.
I'll get paid to do nothing. Sign me.
Honestly, what she should do with her love of video gaming, she should go get a deal with Kick or something, or YouTube or somebody like that, and stream exclusively. But
Zelina Vega kind of got that on lock. So
anybody can come running through. What's his name? Tekashi 6ix9ine signed a deal with Rumble to stream exclusively, but they're paying him like $500K just to jump in. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might be more than that, but like if Nick Merckx is getting $10 million to go to Kick, what's Ronda Rousey worth? Like,
right. So Brandon kind of hinted at this, but we missed this actually. So at the end of Bound for Glory, they ran a package that they alluded to announcing earlier in the show. So I heard the comment from Tom Hannafin. He said there'd be a hard to, I think he phrased it as there'd be a hard to kill announcement, and like we never heard it. So I was just like, well, maybe they ran out of time.
I think we cut it off too soon.
They ran out of time or something. But they ended up running a package where they announced that come January 2024, they're going back to being called TNA Wrestling and not Impact Wrestling anymore. Which there's a lot of people on both sides of the fence how people feel about this. I've been a fan since it was TNA Wrestling. So I think this is kind of cool.
What does TNA stand for again?
Total Nonstop Action.
Makes more sense.
but they got rid of it because of the other entendre and sponsors not liking that was the reason given back in the day. But the main reason Scott D'Amore says that this is happening, he's given a couple interviews since this announcement. He said, we can't run from our past, and also like everywhere we go, people are still chanting TNA.
Well, the TNA, it's when you mentioned Impact, I was like, huh? And you're like, oh, TNA Impact. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so he's like, especially overseas in the UK market and stuff like that. He's like, people still refer to it as TNA, and he's like, it just makes sense. And I agree with him. I see where they're going with this. He also said this is going to come with a new look and a new set, so I'm excited for that. That's the
one thing I had a little bit of issues with. There was like a 5-foot ramp. I was like,
yeah, but some of it's logistics. Some of it's just like the space you have to work with.
100%.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what this looks like in 2024, and I'm excited for TNA Wrestling coming back. Will Ospreay has said in an interview, like when he heard the news, he felt he's like, I got giddy like a kid again. He's like, because TNA Wrestling is what made me want to be a wrestler.
Come home, Papa.
And I'm like, home. That's my thought. I'm like, well, that's true, Will Ospreay. Come home.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of people who are super excited about this, and I am one of them. one thing I am kind of sad to hear, though, it's rumored that Heath has finished up with Impact Wrestling. He's now a free agent. He's Slater for WWE fans. He was just in the Call Your Shot gauntlet at Bound for Glory, but
didn't he get eliminated like immediately?
Yeah,
yeah.
So
why?
So apparently, the one man band is One Man No More in Impact Wrestling. So, but also Scott D'Amore in his interview announced that they already has signed. There's already been a wrestler who has signed the first official TNA contract that has TNA on it, not Impact Wrestling, and that was our boy PCO. So PCO resigns with Impact because the first wrestler to be a TNA contracted employee. They're definitely keeping him around. And he said, Scott D'Amore said in an interview that, so he said that we sat down with PCO for 5, and it took us 5 minutes. He's like, the first thing out of PCO's mouth was, I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to leave. And Scott D'Amore said, well, let's figure out how to make that not happen then. And they did a handshake deal, I guess, prior to Bound for Glory, like a month prior to Bound for Glory. And the contract was just finalized at Bound for Glory. So PCO is not going anywhere for a long time. He hinted that it's about a 5-year deal.
Go wrestle till he's 60. Watch Bound for Glory.
So the second wrestler to sign a TNA wrestling contract and not an Impact Wrestling contract was another person they found in the UK. His name is Leon Slater. Much like Harley Hudson, I don't know much about Leon.
He's okay.
You've seen some stuff on the internet about him.
He's okay.
He seems like a Leo Rush type of guy, similar sort of style and stuff like that. Which
he's super young too. They're gonna develop him how they want to.
The other rumored one, I'm saying rumored for protection, is Sonny Kiss to sign with TNA Wrestling. Rumor. I am saying rumor for Sonny Kiss.
You're saying rumor. Stop. You're saying rumor.
Sonny Kiss is signing with TNA Wrestling. Sorry, Sonny. Yeah, Sonny Kiss is signing with TNA Wrestling. He's not going anywhere.
Not after what happened. It was so funny. Go watch Bound for Glory.
I touched about this earlier. Alex Hammerstone is reportedly leaving MLW with the mass releases, mass exodus there.
Where's he going? Because he ain't going to be out for long.
No, he's not. Talk about that more later.
Woo! Next.
Yes, Ric Flair debuts for AEW. He was presented as a present to Sting, which I thought was kind of weird and awkward. But so Sting is on his retirement tour, and yeah, you're looking at me like, what? So
Sting share rotation, just like.
So Sting's in the ring with Tony Giovanni and Darby Allin, and Darby Allin. It's like, we got a present for you because you're about to retire. And out comes Ric Flair, who basically says, Sting, we've been rivals and also friends in the past. And I want to take this last farewell tour with you. I want to be in your corner for your last couple matches,
I like money.
I'm time stamping this, by the way. Don't be surprised. I won't be surprised if at Sting's final match, which I don't think they announced his opponent, but whoever it is, Ric Flair's in his corner and he causes Sting to lose. And you bring all this story full circle because Ric Flair and Sting had a massive rivalry in WCW. They're like time-tested rivals in wrestling. So I think this is, hey, I want to be in your corner. I want to support you. But Ric Flair is going to double-cross Sting. And that's how you're going to end the story. Maybe that's just me being a good booker. I don't know. Or that's it. But
you're also evil.
But that's how I would do it. And that's what I'm hoping they do. That Sting loses his final match at the hands of...
Okay. No, the funniest thing about the whole Ric Flair is a present. It's my... Middle of them staying in the ring, Sting's like, hit me with one. Hit me with one. I'm sorry, but guys, old wrestling. I'm seeing all these wrestlers retire, seeing all these wrestlers pass away. We gotta enjoy the talent we have on this earth, guys. We gotta enjoy the talent we have on this earth, or else it's gonna go by the wayside, and they're not gonna know how much we appreciate them. So if you're at an AEW event and Sting comes out with Ric Flair, y'all better just bask in that glow, because the glow coming off the chains on Ric Flair. Oh man,
Ric Flair drip, man.
It used to be rings, now it's chains, and he is iced out. But anyway, make sure you guys bask in the glory that is the talent that you're seeing around you, because you don't know when it's going to be the last time you see him.
I'm hoping that Ric Flair shows up on Saturday night.
I will cry. No, okay, all right. When everybody says like, yeah, I am a wooer. I am a wooer because of Ric Flair. I don't cheer like normal people. I cheer like Ric Flair for some stupid reason. I wonder why that is.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Pop some people's eardrums real quick.
But no, I'm excited. I think we see both of them on Saturday, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I think that's the storybook ending you need to tell. You have to have Ric Flair betray Sting.
No, betray Sting and then have them like have a match right then and there and finally settle it. But I don't think that Ric Flair's up for a match. I think he's done.
Oh, he practically died in his last one. So
I know.
And then finally to end the night, also I hinted at this earlier, a rumor is Sami Callihan is on his way to AEW. So we'll keep you updated on that.
We're watching it like a hawk. We've been talking about it for ages. We're watching it real close.
But one thing we do need to do around here is we have to pay
the bills. We gotta pay damn invoices.
Yes. So you have two wonderful sponsors. The first one we want to talk about is the people who bring this all together, the people who Brandon's pointing in the corner, StreamYard. They allow us to stream to your wonderful faces here. And if you want to be part of the StreamYard team, if you want StreamYard in your corner and all the bells and whistles that come along with it, they have different pay tiers. But if you want to save $10 off any of the pay tiers that you choose, you can go down in the description. You can click on our special affiliate link. Once again, it is an affiliate link, so you will be supporting the channel if you do so. And you can get $10 off StreamYard. And while you're doing that, you need some drinks if you're going to be streaming sessions. Now,
unfortunately, our tremendous sponsor, Apex Energy, is having a little bit of an issue with the suppliers. So their website for order will be ready to go shortly, but it'll have a brand spanking new code, PWN20, not 10% off that you get with G Fuel affiliates. You will be getting 20% off with that link. We will have that down in the description. When it's ready, we will also inform you. Again, if you're following the socials, you'll get all the information first. When Apex restocks, we will let you guys know so you guys can pick up that cherry limeade, that citrus blast, the bomb pop. I also hear a rumor there might be some new flavors coming out with the suppliers coming back online. So definitely be on the lookout. Follow the socials if you guys haven't already. And as always, definitely click that subscribe button so that you can be tied in with every notification that comes through when Adrian decides to drop some just Salt Bay, beautiful, awesome nerdiness on your face. Make sure you guys check that out. It is an absolute pleasure to work with that boy, that nerd. ADC, take us away.
As always, I love you beautiful faces and keep it nerdy.
Peace. Love y'all. This is Brand 2K out.